I don't know, drama from the beginning. But anyways, this is what happens in life. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Drama to Dharma. This is our weekly show where we talk about daily current events and daily life. If you have any questions that you want to ask Gabriel, I channel Archangel Gabriel and his realm of angels, along with the other angelic realms that are close to me, including the realm of Michael, and Raphael and Uriel. So sometimes the messages will come through Gabriel from those archangels as well. So it's pretty exciting, especially during these times. For those of you who are on the show or listening tonight, or if you hear us later, I appreciate you being part of this dialogue with us and opening up an invitation to the angelic realm to help you in your daily lives, because it's very important right now, especially during these times that are, I know we say uncertain and unprecedented. My husband hates those words, but that's kind of, I don't know what other words to use. They're just, we're changing times at best. And these are times that in our generation, we have never seen before. There have been, of course, past generations historically that have had times that appear to be like the end of the world, because it was for them at the time, with the different natural disasters and wars and so forth. And so we want to talk a little bit about that tonight. Our topic tonight is touched by an angel, and we are going to discuss what it feels like to be touched by an angel. And perhaps somebody in our audience has been touched by an angel and would ask questions or want to share that in the comments. I would appreciate that. Any questions about that topic? But before we get started on that, I want to also wish a happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends and those that celebrate Hanukkah or that want to help uplift spiritually the beautiful celebration of Hanukkah. And that is the beginning of the Jewish Festival of Lights, they call it, holiday. There's so many other words that I don't know, but I know that it's the enlightened holiday. And today's the first day where they light the first candle of the menorah and share gifts and have fun. Traditionally would have big celebrations, but I think probably keeping them down to smaller and maybe Zoom. I have some friends that are Zooming with their kids to light the menorah together. So I just want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah. And it's part of our holy days that we're in December. There's a lot going on. Gabriel's been talking about that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. With the energetic flow of December we have coming up this Monday, the 14th, is going to be a big, I think, lunar eclipse that's going to bring in a lot of positive energy to the planet. And so he's saying, there's just going to be a big shift during that time for all of us to just be ready for a new shift into 2021 starting on Monday, the 14th. It's going to be beautiful, he says. If you can just remember to have that day with intentions of light, intentions of what it is that you want, basically a manifestation intentions. So he says that things are going to be moving forward and upward on that day. And if you're not ready for it with a positive and with your intentions and so forth, and you're thinking negatively that day, it can also go both ways, as law of attraction goes both ways. So just keep that in mind as you're preparing for this next week coming up, that it's actually going to be a beautiful day, and it's going to release a lot of 2020 and give us the hope for 2021. So you're going to see some positive shifts, although it doesn't. Right now, it may not feel that way because we're all back at home. But remember, when we're back at home, it's time for us to reflect. And it's a great time to do your vision boards, to do your writings of what it is that you want for your future. Even though, we can only look so far ahead. But maybe your values have changed, or what you consider valuable has changed over the last 8 months that we've been, I think it's been about 8 months, right? Since March that we've been in lockdown or stay at home or COVID world, whatever we want to call it, this whole new thing we've been doing. So if you've had any changes with your values, with what you consider valuable, I encourage you to write them down and really, look at that and see what it is that you want for 2020. It's a good time to start. A lot of people start right after New Year's, but Gabriel's saying start mid-December, preparing. Almost like before you go to bed, you pray for your good night's sleep, and that helps start your next day. This will kind of help start the new year if you can do it a little bit early. So that might be something to consider. That's what he's saying. So let's see here. Touched by an Angel. That's one of the chapters in my book that I'm writing. And it's called Section 9 or Chapter 9. And it's been quite a while since I've, really read everything that I've written. So I'm going to go ahead. Now, this is pretty raw here, but I'm going to read from the book and read what I've written. And this was 3 years ago. It's unedited. So, I'm looking at the book, and it says human nature versus spiritual nature. So that's the first section of this book. So I am going to go ahead and read that, and then it gets into the Touched by Angel stories after that. So it talks more about human nature versus spiritual nature. And I'm just going to go ahead and read what I wrote. And we're starting it out with speaking on ego. If there is a human who you believe has, in your words, ego, or what you refer to as only thinking of self, diagnosed as narcissistic, any such human that appear he or she can only look at oneself. We recommend, while in a conversation with such a person, that you yourself are silent and let them complete their dialogue. They are truly unable to hear you, as they can only hear themselves. It's true if you feel they do not hear you or retain the words that you speak to them, they do not. There is no judgment. It is not up to you to decide why it is so. At that point, it becomes your own ego. For your own purpose, we say to be silent and listen to their viewpoint until they are complete with their portion of the conversation. When they are fully complete, you should give them your viewpoint if asked, and end the conversation politely and go about your business. It serves no purpose to banter with an individual who refuses to listen to your viewpoint. You could label them however you choose. However, from an angelic viewpoint, we consider that as judgment and not for the highest good. Time is precious. Therefore, we say to quickly decide where you should spend your time and with whom. It is best to spend time alone with God, with your family and loved ones, in prayer. Spend time with those whose conversations uplift you. Now, this is interesting because I was on a big platform earlier as a guest on a panel, and this is a show on a large platform called Unify, and they have many members and listeners, and the show is called Women Rising, and Debbie invited me, and she's on that panel. So I was on with beautiful women, and our topic was it was about relationships. It was about the topic. Debbie, help me. It was toxic friendships. That's what it was. Toxic friendships and toxic relationships. So it's interesting that I'm reading this. And that's what we talked about. Although the answer to that was from me, that if your relationship or your friendship is toxic, then it's not a friendship. And I had originally, when I, before this topic, I was like all about that. Oh yeah, toxic friendships. And then this week I lost one of my dear friends, Allison. For those of you who are friends or on my Facebook, you saw my post. And she's my age. She's a very beautiful, vibrant Texan girl. And we were just fast friends right when we met each other. And she died within a week, and she had the pseudo COVID, which is a new strain of COVID, and she didn't really have a chance. So my friendships have been near and dear to my heart this week, and so I've been calling people that I hadn't spoke to in a while, just to tell them that I love them with no other reason, and reconnect with them. So it was hard for me to really think about toxic friendships when I was in such a loving space regarding my friends. And if it's not a healthy friendship, then it's not a friendship. And I've realized that over the last several years as well, not to be, to politely, or like Gabriel says, politely, or, what Gabriel said today, because he actually channeled for 5 minutes during the platform, which was amazing. And I might do that again at the end of the show, give a clear message from him directly. It was very powerful. And part of that, he was saying about that, to just share love with each other and bless and release. And, that there are humans, so many of us that are in these, we can call them unsavory, perhaps, or uncomfortable, or even destructive, or even abusive relationships. It's not discounting that that's not true, or there aren't friendships. But he's saying for ourselves, he was saying to definitely, as we're whatever relationship that we believe we're in it. So if you believe you're in a toxic friendship or relationship, you are, of course, it's true. But you can change that by listening, watching this show and watching the other shows. You're already searching for new answers. So you can change that by maybe not eliminating the relationship if it doesn't make sense at the moment, but by just giving love and light, and bringing love and light into yourself, he said, and sharing it with that other person without any conditions, and just not. And I think that's why we read this right now, to be honest with you, because he just gave a good point from the book about how to handle those situations, and just to let them speak. And if you want to keep fighting, sometimes that's our ego that gets in the way. Then if we want to just keep who has to be right all the way down. And so that, I think that was the reason that I read what I did out of the book. So it gives us a little bit of information on how to, just kind of be in those relationships that may not be healthy for us at the moment, and that would be considered toxic. But again, it's not a friendship, and it's not a relationship if it is toxic. And eventually it will dissipate, because it just can't continue unless you just want to totally live in misery. And it's not the other person's fault. There's no judgment, because we both, each person brings to the party, he says. So every human brings their part of it, and we're mirrors to each other. So you're mirroring each other and not like it. You don't like what you see in the mirror, and then it just gets worse and worse. So he always brings it back to us, that we are mirrors for each other. So if you're in that relationship and you're learning from it and growing from it, then let it be your teacher, let it be your lesson, and then, figure out how to decide what it is that you value in life, what's valuable to you, and then make that happen. And that I got from this week. I was doing Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny for 4 out of the 6 days. I didn't get to finish the last 2, but boy, was that amazing. Whew, I had never done anything with Tony Robbins before, but I was able to do this, and it was very cathartic for me. And I have to do that kind of work every once in a while, like preferably once a year, but now it's been every couple years. And so no matter how much you think you've done all your therapy, your work, I've gone to so many retreats and stuff. It's always wonderful just to do more of it, to grow more into who you are, especially during times like this when we know that we're shifting as humans. And so it's good to look at those things. So if you can do some sort of a virtual, positive, impactful retreat, or some sort of a workshop that you're drawn to, spiritually, to do just for your own self-love and self-care, it is absolutely, it can be right now, because I've done a lot over the years, but right now this was just what I needed, because I had been in a, kind of depressed. I've had my medical problems. Things just different right now for all of us. and I was starting to feel a little lethargic and, just not very motivated, although I'm constantly busy. It's different to be busy than to be motivated. You can stay busy, but that doesn't mean that you've got fire inside, right? And the fire is what keeps us going, the passion, the fire in our life. And so if you can do something to bring that fire into your life, whatever it is, boy, it's just going to be amazing, especially right now. It's the best time to do it. It is the best time. So you can give yourself that gift or give your loved one that gift together during the holidays. Since we're all home anyways, it was so fabulous to see 5,000 people up on all these Zooms. He had it in this big Zoom, and to watch people praying, because he was doing like spiritual stuff on there. He was doing self-help stuff, talking about relationships, and then he would shower everybody with love. And it's like you could feel the love of on the Zooms. It was amazing. And everybody was home, and we got to see what each other's houses look like and stuff like that. And everybody literally were on their couch or their dogs. They were dancing with their dogs and stuff. It was the babies on one hip. It was amazing. So people were actually searching for this. And so, the fact that you're on the show tonight watching, I just want to give you a little bit of that beautiful energy that I was blessed to receive through. And I know that I was touched by an angel this week. I was touched by an angel, whether it be through the words of Tony, all week, and his people, whether it was, the women that were on the show today, Women Rising, I could feel the angels touching me. And yes, I know I do channel Gabriel, but that I'm a human, so I don't always, he's like, hello, half the time it's like, but he's grateful that I'm doing this, believe me. And then I had my friend Renee, who's usually on the show. She was at my house for a couple days, totally COVID safe, but she was in California. So, it all worked out fine, even through this lockdown, although now, I will not be having any guests. She was my first guest in this whole time, but it was nice to be around a friend just for at least a couple days, and just social distance, because she was the only one here at the house, and it was fine. But it was nice just to be around a house guest and to actually cook dinner, make some tacos for her. She's Norwegian from Chicago, so for me to make her tacos and Spanish rice was a treat for her. And she's like, do you really need that much grease? I'm like, you have to make them greasy if you're going to make them the Mexican way. I'm sorry, but yes, we use oil. Anyways, but it was fun. It was fun, and she learned how to make tacos. But it's those little things, the little things. And then when my friend Jody and Dan, they make us bread. Those things are blessings. And we've talked about this before. And you can be an angel. You can, Jim says, those are great tacos. They really are. They're my grandmother's recipe. They're amazing. Everybody loves them. Jim doesn't eat that much, and he'll eat like 6 of them. So that says a lot for the tacos. But, yeah. So, it's those things that you can touch each other, touched by an angel. What does that mean? And that means we as humans can ask for that divinity, that for the angels, they're just waiting. Gabriel said, like when Debbie asked on the because we were on the same thing I'm on right now, the StreamYard, and then we have a private chat, and she said, can you channel Gabriel for 5 minutes? And this is in front of thousands of people. I said, sure, yeah, of course, yeah. And then, so then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to trust, right? Because that's what you do. And it was beautiful. And then Gabriel shared with me later, he was thanking me, and he said, we have to wait for you to give us permission. So they were waiting. They were waiting for me to say yes or no. And, and then they were all excited once I said yes, and they gave this good message. And I never thought about it that way, but it's true, because you have to invite them in order to, and have them be welcome in order for them. And then the ladies were clear that it was 5 minutes, and, and believe me, I was in a channel, and it was 5 minutes, not 1 minute, not 1 second more. So they know when they're welcome into our realm by inviting them. Angels, I love you. Please help me. Touch me today. Touch me through another human. And you will see and feel that you will be touched by an angel one way or the other, because you've invited them in. You just have to then embrace it and know that when you think you're being touched by them, you are, he says. And so for me, to have them to thank me for this work that I do, because I do invite them in and I say yes to them, even if people agree or disagree with what it is. It doesn't matter, because it's energetic flow. So I mean, it matters. But I'm just saying, I've got family that are not always, they don't understand what I do. And so for those of you who do spiritual work that might not be within the alignment of the way you were raised or the religions and stuff, we already know that we don't talk about it too much, but we just share the love, right? We share the light, we share it. We don't have to talk about it, we can just be it in that case, and invite them in to love through us, to speak through us, because they call us their beloveds. We are their beloveds. We are their beloved ones. And so when we invite them, they surely will be here, and you'll feel their touch. Hi, Trevor James. It says, how do you know your guardian angel? Okay, your guardian angel, that's a great question. And connect with the angel. So your guardian angel knows you very well. Your guardian angel has been with you your entire, since you came through, basically comes through the portal with you. He's saying, Gabriel's saying, because I've never had this question, so this is the first answer this way. He comes through the portal with you, your guardian angel. So you're together, your spirit is together, and they're your spirit guide through your life. And they are the ones that you feel that intuition when it's a discernment, he says, whether it's yes or no. Like you'll say something like, should I go this way? Or if you're not sure about something and you're trying to seek an answer, and you're asking God and you're asking spirit, and you get that nudge, you get that clear answer. The angel, your guardian angel, is going to be there to protect you as much as you'll allow him to. And how will you know who they are? So the fact that you've just asked that question, Trevor, you're going to know soon enough, because they're going to show you signs, because you've invited them in. But when you feel that they've, like there's something that just happened and you can't explain it, but it's absolutely perfectly what you needed. And how did that happen? How did that person come into my life? How did that car not hit me? They are there to protect us, especially if you invite them in. And your guardian angel I see your guardian angel as being an angel of light with yellow, and coming from the realm of the pure divinity, as they all do. And so wherever you come from the realm of heaven, they're going to come there with you. But you're going to have one spirit guide that's always with you, and that because that spirit guide is part of who you are. And so when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see God's eyes in your eyes, you know that when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you see a multidimensional being in yourself, that is your guardian angel that's right there with you, he says. And that's beautiful, because I've never had it explained to me that way. And so you can talk to your guardian angel. That is a lot of people call spirit guide. That's your eternal being who is with you and within you. And they are always there to be the messenger, to be that messenger between you and he who is greater than all, he who has created all, the Heavenly Father, God, he who has no name, he who has every name. That is your liaison during prayer, so that there's no interruptions in your messages to the universe, the positive messages. They make sure there's no interruption in what it is that you're divinely here to do, and to make sure that that purpose is met. So you just have to ask them, and they're so excited. You will feel their excitement when you welcome them in. I felt the excitement of the angels when I said yes, and when Gabriel said to me, and by the way, he says he's not my guardian angel. Gabriel's not my guardian angel. It's just I have my own guardian angel that's been here with me from the beginning. He's an archangel that I'm able to channel, and only channel him through. I started with writing, just spiritually writing, and then getting more and more clarity about this. And then I have an agreement that I only channel with myself and with Gabriel, that I only channel Gabriel. And of course, Gabriel has all the humans that he channels through. He says that he is with at all times. And I understand that. So it's not like I'm his only human, no way. That's what he says. He's not my only angel, but he's the only angel that I'll channel. That way it's a clear message. He's very gentle. He is his angelic realm is the angelic realm that that my energy definitely connects with. And we're all like, on antenna channels. That's what it is. And so when you connect whatever vibration and alignment, you will align with your spirit guides and with your realms of angels, and then they will they will give you messages, whether it's through your music, whether it's through your writings, however it is that you keep moving forward with your purpose. Whatever your purpose is, they're just going to keep helping you with that purpose, and they will be the ones that give you that divine answer. So there's the angelic realm that you'll feel touched by, the angels, and then there's the humans that they also use to touch us, that you say, wow, that was a real angel moment. That person was so nice, he didn't have to do that. Or how did that person come in right when I needed it? They will orchestrate. They're humans, they say, because that humans pray to them every day, or they wear their necklaces, or they, whatever, they have their saints right there next to them. They pray to them, they ask them, and especially even if they have tattoos, he says, of them, then they're like, wait, I really, So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to just really connect with your angels. Thank you so much, Trevor, for that question. I hope that helped. Carly is asking, on 12/12, on 12/21/20, we will experience a celestial event that hadn't occurred for 800 years. Saturn and Jupiter will be so close, they just above the horizon 45 minutes after sunset. Wow. They will appear as a superstar, or as it has been called, a Christmas star. I truly believe that on this day, those who are open to it will be touched by an angel, touched by God more profoundly, so that it is undeniable. I am praying for everyone listening to experience to complete love and our Lord on this day. Carly Howard. Thank you so much, Carly. That's absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful prayer for us. And I appreciate that. And it's absolutely true. It's part of this December that's wonderful. And so if you are, able to spend that time at that moment during, above the horizon, but either way, at night, you can look up and you'll see them very clearly. Gabriel talked about this last week, how right now, especially in December, you can look up, and normally we would just be looking up at stars, but we're looking up at the planets. They look like huge stars, but they're planets. We're planet gazing. So it's beautiful. The planets are so close to Earth, so it's like we're not even stargazing right now. We are planet gazing without a telescope. That's amazing. So definitely take pictures, feel the energy, pray for each other, and be touched by the angelic realm, because the veil is very, very thin. Very thin. Thank you so much. Now let's see. What is this one? Okay, I am 7:22 p.m. I ask the angels to do the work for me. They do 80%. I show up and do my part. I ask for an effortless and productive day. When I remember to do this, more days are easier. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. That came up instead of your name, the 7:22 p.m. That's from Jim. And so Jim asked the angels to do 80%. And that's something that Gabriel's been teaching us for a while. And he mentions it up on the show. He has mentioned it on the show several times, to just, when you ask him, when you wake up, angels, do 80% of the work for me. I will show up as your human. You will have a beautiful day. An effortless day. That's for sure. Yes, indeed. Wonderful. Thank you, Trevor. I'm glad that was helpful to you, because that was beautiful for me as well. And literally, I every time I do this, and when I channel directly, I am blessed by the words that come through me. So thank you. And then Jody Cortez, touched often, blessed to connect. I have two, a wild gypsy and a star angel. My godmother told me this when I was young. I have many stories. Nice to know we are all one. Yes, that is so. You have a wild gypsy and a star angel. I love it. I love it. That's exactly who you are, the musician, the wild gypsy and the star angel. Those are two great guardian angels to have, for sure. that's just love and light. Let's see, Jody, so sensitive and crying often. I know we are aligning. Absolutely. When you're in alignment with yourself. Basically, Gabriel saying, when you're in alignment with your guardian angel and your your spirit being, when you're in alignment, then you're in alignment with your true self, with who you truly are. And that's why it feels so good. You feel at peace. There's no worry. You just know that you're in alignment. And you can do that. We can all do that by asking and being. Thank you, too. Much appreciated. Absolutely. You're so welcome. And I want to just, what an amazing, amazing question you asked. Thank you. Blessings. So I'm going to read a little bit more from the book because that was the relationship part. The next section says, there are many situations you will find yourself in. Contemplate, we are not saying to end old relationships. Of course not. However, we are advising you to choose how much time to spend with each relationship regarding conversations that might bring your spirit down, or if you find yourself in a situation that disturbs you or does not serve you. So we already spoke about some of this, but again, these are things I wrote 3 years ago. Think about whether or not you should continue with that conversation. Perhaps waiting several days to re-engage that person would change the dynamics of the conversation to a pleasant conversation, or a conversation or a conversation that simply is uplifting in nature. Relationships with others change with every conversation at times. It is most important to rely on your intuition and empathize with the other person. Empathize with the other person during the conversation. Of course, in other words, if they are sad, you would not bring up certain topics. If they are happy, you would not bring up certain topics. When possible, you understand what that means. Stay mindful and respectful with each other. You may say, Gabriel, that other person said this or said that. We say, you take responsibility before you speak or before you listen. The tone of your voice, energy, and vibration you are giving out, such as nervous or relaxed, anxious, busy, angry, bored, etc. Be deliberate with your own words and your body language. When communicating or miscommunicating with another human being, it is tempting to deliberately misuse these techniques as well. Be very careful. Human nature believes there is a prize at the end of such conversations, as if they are going to win something. That is one of the many myths that could begin down a road of despair. Human Nature 101. Each human has potential for every aspect of human nature. Always keep that in mind. Keep that in mind should you decide to judge. Human nature is everything human, desires, love. What would be good thoughts and good deeds, versus not so good? Everything is the flesh translated by time. Time has a way of slowing down the perfection of the spiritual nature versus the human nature or the physical nature. Looking at the world through the eyes of a human such as Josie is unremarkable. God says, she says, low drama. Says who? You. Low drama. Drama is in the eyes of the beholder. One human drama is another human's pleasure, and the other way around. When a person judges the life of others to base their own nature, then we say there is still much learning to do. Interesting. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, because to one person it may be drama, and to the other person he's saying, it may be amazing. So it may be one person's drama is another person's pleasure. That's what he said. So we all have different viewpoints, vantage points. Every human is in their own mind, right? We're our own self. So to try to sit there and argue a point with somebody is pointless, is basically what he's saying there. So that's very good. Carly's saying, I completely agree. I ask God for guidance with my students. She's a teacher, and he helps me to know their need for calmness and how to help them. Louisa, hi, Louisa, says, I ask for guidance and allow my guardian angel to guide me. Very good. It's very good. And that goes for especially in our conversations with each other. as well. So, there's quite a bit that I've written here, but the gist of this, there's a lot here. And this chapter of the book, Touched by Angels, is where I have stories from friends who have shared their experiences with angels and or people in their life. And what I do, and I think I've talked about this in the past, but what I've done with my clients at ATS, we have a advanced therapeutic services where I've worked in the field of addiction and mental health for over 30 years. And a group that I've done with them, because I sometimes would, not so much anymore, but I used to do a lot of spiritual groups. But one exercise I would do is an angel timeline, because our therapists would all do the trauma timeline and have their dates of all their trauma. And then I would do an angel timeline, and I'd have them put the dates and a name, or, of somebody who touched them, like their angels in their life. And some of them, they would put their pets, a lot of them put their grandparents, a special teacher. And then you'd put the trauma timeline next to the angel timeline. And it was interesting to see, because during a trauma, there was always an angel also in their life that helped uplift them. And that was very, prophetic to watch and cathartic to watch, if you do your own timeline. Now, you could do that as an angel timeline and just kind of think about it. Something fun to do. Think about the people in your life that have made a difference and where you are today. And I can think of the ones in my life, teachers, special cousins, in my life that helped me, and then our teachers are maybe our spiritual teachers later on in life and things like that. So it's fun to do that, because you're actually giving gratitude to them, and you're honoring them by bringing their memory forward, Gabriel says, because they were your angels at that time, and they still are, because there is no time where angels are. So that's very, very fun. Trevor James, any good books you would recommend? When I started doing my work years ago, I started with 20 years ago, going to a retreat in Mexico with friends from Tennessee and with Miguel Ruiz and the Four Agreements. So the Four Agreements and doing that Toltec work really helped open up my spirit to kind of getting rid of my old stories and forgiving myself, and basically getting rid of the Four Agreements. One agreement is not to take things personal. Let me see if I can remember them. There's always one I don't remember because it's one I probably don't practice, but okay, not to take things personal, and to do the best you can, and to oh my goodness, not to take things personal, do the best we can, and they're simple agreements. Boy, if somebody can help me put them into the chat, but it's the Four Agreements, and it's been a few years clearly since I read it. I need to read it again, Gabriel saying, obviously, but that book helped open up my awareness and kind of get rid of my old stories. Honoring your words, yes. Oh, being impeccable with your words, exactly. That's the third agreement, being impeccable with your words. At all times. So, and then, so that's a good book, of course. And then I started, doing, and then of course I read The Secret, and then I did a lot with Abraham Hicks, and Wayne Dyer has many wonderful books. And I absolutely love, Eckhart Tolle and Living in the Now, because that's so important in the angelic realm. And then, of course, Course of Miracles was just amazing. That's just an entire, Marianne Williamson, she really blew open a lot of stuff with this same type of angelic work that's divinely written. And not Course in Miracles, but the Conversations with God and Neil Donald Welch. That was very good, because it's the same type of work that I do, and I actually got to meet him in Malibu, and we had a lot in common based on the stuff, how I write my stuff, and the thing, and how he got his messages from Conversation from God, very similar. So those are some of the books that I've read that have impacted me and that have helped me catapult this connection that I have with the angelic realm, and because really fast tracking everything right now is a good idea. So, those authors are definitely, some of them are still here with us in the physical realm, or most of them are. There's just, I think, Dr. Wayne Dyer probably. And, but yeah, so those are some good books. Thank you, Trevor. Joseph Campbell. Yeah, Joseph Campbell's amazing. Hello from Massachusetts, Tanya Melendez. Hi, nice to see you from Massachusetts. Wow, thank you for watching us. It's kind of late there. So, staying up and being with us. I definitely appreciate that. And Gabriel's all excited that you're here. He's saying, to stay warm, basically, because you guys are, you're home now and we're all home now, but you're going to have the beautiful white Christmas that I keep seeing. I'm in Palm Desert, California, so I'm basically in Palm Springs. There's no snow here at all, but I've been watching the Hallmark Channel a lot, and I have just been, admiring, all the beautiful snow in the movies. So you guys get to have that beautiful white snow Christmas. I hope you do. And I hope that this has been helpful to you guys. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Jim. Yeah, it's be impeccable with your words. Don't take anything personal. That's the one. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. So impeccable with your word. Don't take things personal. Do not make assumptions, and always do the best you can. Be impeccable with your word. It's not personal. Never assume anything, and always do your best. Exactly. Yes, that's what it is. So those are the 4 agreements. And then you do, when you're reading the book, it's not just saying those, you're actually doing work around getting to that place and actually releasing your old stories. So it's a really nice book to start out with this journey. For me, it was, because otherwise I was raised very strict Christian, which is great. And I read the Bible 3 times, and also Catholic. So I was, like my husband would call it, like Jim would call it, religionated. But, as a child, but which is great, because that's the base of where I come, and I love it. But it was really nice to open up my awareness starting, in 2000, when I started doing this work, and that pretty much brought me to what I'm doing now, and I love it. It's been freeing for me, and still, of course, I love church and all the traditions and the beautiful things that are important, to me. But as a human growing, I just kept growing, with God and my personal relationship with spirit and with my angels, by seeking and keeping asking. And then I would keep getting new teachers and books that would just keep taking me to that higher level. And then I would feel, being touched by the angelic realm more and more. And that's where it's important. I think church, of course, is important. It was so important to me my entire life. And if they were open, I would be going right now during this holiday season, because I turned into one of those that primarily would go during holidays. But, sometimes I would go, every week. But, it wasn't about that for me anymore for these last several years. It's been mostly my personal relationship with God, my personal relationship with the angels, and receiving, messages that were, that are enlightenment, or that are positive as well, because I was raised in a way where I thought I was just going to go to hell all the time. And I knew that God was not that God. So I had to find the answers myself. So I kept asking the way you're asking now, and you will get those answers, and you'll feel great about it. There's no judgment, of course not. Because that's my upbringing. There's so much love there. But for my spirit, I just kept searching and seeking more. And I think that if you're watching the show now, or, whenever you do, it'll be that time when you're asking more questions. And I'm hoping that this helps give you more answers. So that's what that's all about. Now, if you guys want to ask me any more questions of Gabriel, or if you can share, have you had an experience, maybe put in the chat for me, yes or no. I've had yes, I've had an experience. I think I've had an experience, and maybe you can reflect on that now or tonight sometime. But, even just putting it in the chat will bring it to life in this conversation. So I would love it if you could put something in there, just a simple, yes, I've had one, I know it was great, or, you know what, I can't think of any, but I'm going to meditate on it, just so that you could be engaged in this conversation that we're having now. I would love it if you guys would feel, like that's something you would want to do. And that's what Gabriel's asking, if you guys could do that, because then he can also see, that you, because he already knows who's watching and everything that's going on, of course. But he says that it's so powerful when, like with, Trevor and Jody, and when you're, whether it's this show or other shows or any of your spiritual work you're doing, to write things down and be part of it so that you can embody it, whatever it is that you're searching for. I believe I have had, yes, thank you. You have had, I believe you have too. I think we all have, and that's why most of us, all of us that are here, we've had those experiences, but to just say it and to think about it and embody it will remind you. And then you're just going to keep having more of them. And then you're going to recognize them when they happen. That's the fun part, when you recognize when they happen. And then you go, wow, that was an angel moment, or, oh gosh, I just felt that. Even if you find a random feather that doesn't seem like, a bird wasn't just like being attacked or something. And then, but sometimes I'll call them angel feathers, and it might be a confirmation, and you might be pondering something, or you might even be asking, show yourself to me, my angel. And then a random feather, you'll feel the energy of the feather, and they call those angel feathers. So you might find an angel feather, something that's going to remind you of them, because angels do have wings, they say. So not all feathers come from birds. So that sounds like fun. So you might find a feather, and it could be your angel feather, your guardian angel's little feather that he wants to leave you. So Jim finds those on the golf course sometimes, and he knows the difference. He's like, no, this was an angel feather. And again, it's all in what we believe, because, one of the ladies today on the show, she kept referring to the invisible. And I thought that was very cool, the way she talked about the invisible realm. So she says, sometimes we just play in the invisible. Sometimes we pray in the invisible, and we meditate in the invisible. And I thought, that's about right. It's not something that we see, but it's something we feel. And it's someplace where we go. And it's a real place. And it's a beautiful place. Jody says that he loves his angel feathers. Yes. Let's see. Josie did an amazing job as our spiritual guest on Women Rising. It airs Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Unify. Wonderful. Yes. Thank you. Is that from you, Deb? It didn't have your name, but, oh yeah, Deb here. Okay. So thanks, Deb. Yes, she was on the show with us. And if you go to is it unify.com? You can see it. It's Women Rising. It's pretty cool. It was a great group of women, and we had interesting, like I said, shares about relationships. So, and it wasn't just like about relationships with men. It was just relationships mostly with other women, especially when we were talking about toxic. Not all, but sometimes, you just have these friendships that you think are friendships. But it wasn't only talking about that. It evolved into a really nice conversation, the well-rounded conversation about many things. And it was definitely spiritually driven. And it's not just for women, of course, because they also talked about men. So men are invited. It's the feminine energy. Right here on Facebook, Unify channel, and also unify.org. Very good. Yep. So that's a very good platform for many wonderful things that they do, as well as spirituality gone wild. Oh, so let's see. It's almost time to close, and I'm thinking I'm going to prepare to do a message from Gabriel, if everybody's good with that. Let's see what Gabriel says. Good evening, everybody. It is us, Gabriel, the realm of Gabriel. We are so excited that Josie has allowed us to speak through her on our show. We are her guest tonight, she says. No, she cannot talk. She laughs at us. And so that's where the joy comes from, because she said, really, but she cannot. It's an amazing phenomenon what we do. We understand that, but we are a guest on our show, because she refers this to our show with Gabriel and Drama to Dharma. And as we've said through her before, the drama is the video. It's the story that you tell yourself. It's like a movie, your life. It's like a movie. And how do you change the movie, and how do you change the movie into a dharma versus a drama? because people might think drama is negative. All it is a movie. If you're an actor, then it's a drama is good because you're going to get a job and you're going to be able to perform at the best that you can. So drama is not necessarily a negative, but it is a lot of energy, if you will, and it could be sometimes a lot circling, spinning around in circles and circles. Where you're just like, what's happening? What's happening? That's a drama. So when you feel like you're spinning, you're going around on a hamster wheel and you're not focused, and you want to connect with the angelic realm and get to your Dharma. That's what we're talking about on this show, and that's what we started this show. In May, we started right after the pandemic. We said to Josie, it is time to share our messages and help those, because there is a lot of what you would call drama happening. There always is. For us, it's entertaining on this side, because a lot of times you humans are very entertaining. You take yourself so seriously, and we say, have fun. You need to raise your vibration and joy. And you say, Gabriel, how can we have joy? All these things are happening. And we say, find the joy, find the light, if you cannot find joy, then find a higher vibration than the one that you're in. If you're not satisfied in that vibration, if you're sad or depressed or worried or angry, then look for something that feels better than that. And then you're raising closer to Dharma. Because Dharma is a higher vibration, but every human has the capacity at any time, Josie included, or she says especially, has a capacity for any vibration, lower vibrations, higher. So when you judge each other, say that person is a lower vibration, or that person is darkness, or that person is this or that. No, you're basically mirroring back to yourself. Because perhaps 3 days ago, you were that person, and another human said, wow, that person's grumpy. That person woke up on the wrong side of the bed. So, but it's easy for humans to do that judgment with each other, because then it takes the reflection off of you, so you think. But from the angelic realm, you're really putting the reflection back on yourself. And that's why it doesn't feel good. Because energetically, when you judge another, or when you're really judging yourself, and that's why it doesn't feel peaceful in your soul, because that's not truly who you are. Dharma, on the other hand, is who you are. You are the Dharma. You are the Zen. You are the bliss. You are the love. You are the joy. That's who your true essence is. Dharma, Zen, bliss, love, light, all those things. That's who you are. All those words, all those vibrations. So we want you to embrace that right now at this moment, and feel touched by our angelic voice. Feel being touched right at this moment by us, the angelic realm, and feeling your bliss, feeling your Dharma, feeling your Zen, feeling your love, feeling your spirit. Feel it raising, because we are raising, we are rising, and we are moving forward. We are moving forward. We are moving upward. We want you to feel that energy. If it feels good to you, know that it's true. And we love you dearly. And when you feel the drama, do not judge yourself. Just say, okay, I've had enough of that today. I'm going to feel the bliss now. I'm going to feel the love. I'm going to feel the Dharma. I'm going to feel the nurturing of the angelic realm. I'm going to ask them to nurture me as I'm sleeping. And so it is, our beloved ones. We love you dearly. We love you dearly. And you have joined our show tonight because you are seeking and you are asking us, and we are answering you that we are always here for you. When you ask us, we are here. It is true. We are ready. We are ready to help you, to nurture you, to love you, to be your reflection of bliss. Sometimes it's not easy as humans to feel all of that at one time because you're used to the other. That's okay. Feel it as long as you can, blissfully. And then you'll get used to it. and then you will want to seek it more often. Thank you for being with us, and we thank Josie for sharing us in this manner with you this evening. And we hope to come back to our show. Perhaps she'll invite us back next week to speak directly to you, although we do speak through her to you. It is true. But as you might feel the difference when we are speaking directly and she moves her spirit aside for one moment, not just spirit, but she just moves aside energetically and allows us to speak through her. And then she comes back. Thank you. And we are complete. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed that. I do. I'll tell you, whenever I do that and I channel Gabriel directly, it blesses me. I feel the blessing in my spirit. And so I'm going to do more of that, I'm sure. I do it privately, but I don't do it very often publicly because I'm still, this is a process for me, as your spiritual growth is a process for you. But I hope that you were blessed by that message from Gabriel. And I feel blessed by it. I know I'm going to sleep so good tonight because I can feel his beautiful energy when he comes through me that way. And so when you invite them into your heart, you're going to feel the same way, because all of us have the capability of doing what I do. It's not just a gift for me. Gabriel told me that in the beginning. He's like, it's because people would say, "Oh, Josie, you have a gift." I'm like, Gabriel says, "It's not a gift. It's not a present. This is something we all have." And I said, okay, that made me actually feel better, because to think that, oh my gosh, I've got this gift, what responsibility? He's like, no, everybody has it. So I encourage you to embrace it. Embrace, if we want to call them our gifts, we all have them. Embrace the ability to allow the angelic realm and the heavenly divine realm to speak through you, to live through you, to share your light with others. It's most important to do that. And, it's time to do that. And I hope that you can do that. And I hope that this helped you to get a step closer to fulfilling your destiny, because we all have one. And just know that, that you are loved. And a Facebook friend, it doesn't say the name on there sometimes. This one doesn't, but it says, "Beautiful God's angels are so beautiful." Absolutely, they are so beautiful. I hope that share, you were able to feel that love from Gabriel and the angelic realm, because they are so beautiful, amazingly beautiful. Oh, so it is close to time now, and I want to thank you all for joining me and for loving me through this, because I could feel your energy. That's why I was able to channel so clearly, because I know that you were helping me energetically as well, because you were right there with me. And I want to thank you for that. And now it's time to thank our sponsor, who is Advanced Therapeutic Services, and that's the treatment center that Jim Herndon, my husband, and I own. And there it is, our little banner. And Debbie will go ahead and put a quick little video up, a commercial, and then we will end after that. Thank you. I will come back on one more time for one more.
My name is Christopher Zwick. I've struggled with addiction for all of my adult life. I went from alcohol to opiates to heroin and meth. I spiraled down until I ended up in the hospital, malnourished and suicidal. I was a shell of the man I used to be. Then, I found hope. I found ATS. Advanced Therapeutic Services provided me with a safe environment and the tools necessary to recover. I learned how to address the root issues behind the addiction. I now have over a year clean. I owe my life to ATS.
And I always say that he did that himself. We're just there to help guide. And he's an amazing, amazing young man. That's Debbie's son who put that commercial together, who's one of our alumni, and Christopher, who's behind the scenes with a lot of what we do. And my cousin Jenny is on, and I see her. And thank you. I love you, Jenny, for being on. I just saw that on the Facebook user. So thank you all for being with us tonight. And I look forward to next Thursday at 7 when we do this again. And yes, of course, I'm going to invite Gabriel back. Isn't he funny? He's like, yeah, she finally invited us to our own show. So anyways, we love you dearly. And until next week, blessings. Join Tri-Angels. That's my Facebook group. I hope to see you there. Thank you. Bye.